To the decision regarding the return to school in September. An arrest made in a fire in downtown North Bay recently. And yes, slowly but surely, they're getting back on the pitch. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Cogeco News. I'm Greg Estabrooks. Well, with just over a month to go before school begins, a plan was announced yesterday, and it's emerging concerning the return of students to class in the era of COVID-19. Following Education Minister Stephen Lecce's news event on Thursday in Toronto, the Near North Board met via teleconference on Thursday night to lay the groundwork, they say, for the new normal of education in the Near North. Clark Heipel has more.
In the Near North, there are over 9,000 students in 35 schools across the district. 28 of those schools are elementary, and that is where we begin. The most concrete of the plans moving forward is for the elementary sector. Jay Aspin is the board chair of the Near North District School Board.
It'll be full-time every day. Students above grade 3, like from grade 4 to 12, will be required to mask, and that's based on the scientific health knowledge. And we just have to be patient, because a lot of these things with regard to transportation have to be worked out. We still have a month to go, so we'll work out the logistics within the confines of the parameters of the provincial government.
Moving to the high school sector, things get a little cloudy. High school students, how will the teachings be delivered? Is there multiple options, or is it full-time, 5 days a week as normal?
Well, that's basically to be worked out, those specifics right now. We have, at this point in time, what I can say is we can work within their parameters. And fortunately, they've given us the flexibility so that we can, complete the 3-2 process, because our staff has a double whammy here. We're consolidating 2 high schools, plus we're dealing with COVID. So we're confident. Our director and administrative staff are confident they can work out the logistics within the parameters the government have given us.
And when will that be decided? When will parents know if high school students will be going to school full-time in class teaching?
Well, we will let them know in ample time before the school. The school will start, commencement of school this year will be September 8th. So we've got, a little about 5 weeks to go, and they will be advised in ample time for them to get ready for the school year.
Meanwhile, predictably divergent opinions from the usual cast of characters. Nipissing MPP Vic Fidelli thinks that the government he belongs to went about it the right way using expert feedback science. A union representative we spoke to thinks many concerns still need to be raised and tended to before the return feels truly safe.
And over $15 million to greater increase access.
The government's conducting a flawed science experiment. They're stating that between 3 and 7% of children are spreaders of COVID, but let's face it, those children have not been in a classroom since the 12th of March. All of their extracurricular activities, sports and that, have been shut down. So those kids have been in isolation. So to say that they're not going to spread COVID, we don't really know that.
Is there some kind of alternate stance that Hammond and teachers would like to see happen when school does reopen in just a few weeks?
If we'd gone with smaller class sizes, we're looking at kindergarten classes of up to 29 students. Some of our 7 and 8 classes could be 34. Had we used community halls or hockey arenas where we could split our class sizes up, and that students could still be in the classroom as well, so we could bring them back to the schools. But if that way we could actually provide for smaller class sizes and allow for social distancing.
This was always done by the science of the Chief Medical Officer of Health, the command table, the Minister of Health. It's all health-based, and so we're putting $309 million. Again, that number is an evidence-based number. $60 million will go into purchasing masks, medical grade masks for teachers, cloth masks for every student grade 4 and above. 40 million will be used for the cleaning of buses. There are millions to hire 1,000 new custodians throughout the system. So it's 309 million that it will be well spent to get our kids safely back to school in September.
I wanted to ask one thing about, as a follow-up, some teachers' unions have said that that money is not nearly enough to make it safe in the classroom.
Well, it's hard to argue with the facts that this is an evidence base. We've got dollar for dollar how it will be spent. So we know that from the Chief Medical Officer of Health, this is the amount of money that's needed to safely get our kids back, should parents opt to have their children back in school in September.
A 50-year-old North Bay man faces an arson charge. This after an investigation into a fire on Main Street East. It led to the arrest of Robert Atkinson. It is alleged that on Wednesday, July 22nd, shortly after midnight, North Bay Fire and Emergency Services crews responded to the report of a fire, as you can see, thank you to Lindsay Saracen's great work, at 333 Main Street East in the city. The fire origin was a garbage can which engulfed the front door of said location. Now, the fire was put out quickly, however, it did cause some minor damage. And due to the nature of the origin, North Bay Police initiated an investigation, and the investigation led to the arrest of the accused on July 30th. The accused remains in custody pending a bail hearing, and this charge has not been proven in a court of law. Back to Nipissing MPP, the Minister of Economic Development and Trade talked about the entertainment sector and its struggles, and Vic Fideli had a COVID-related announcement to share on Friday. It is a COVID alert device.
A COVID-19 tracing device that's been supported by the federal government and the province of Ontario and developed here in Ontario by Shopify, free of charge to the taxpayer. And it is a device that you can upload on either Apple apps or Google Play apps. And it is a COVID-19 tracer that you can activate for yourself so that when somebody near you has registered with COVID-19, you will get an alarm or a notice. It doesn't store any of your data, it doesn't track where you've been, it doesn't track where you're going. It just, if you're on a bus or in a supermarket, it will alert you if somebody is approaching you that has registered with COVID-19.
Now, you said repeatedly stage 3 does not lead to stage 4, but I think about, say, the theater district, and they're having a really tough time. I interviewed them the other day, a representative of the Capitol Center, and they still can't really make ends meet having 50 people in there at a time. How do they fix things, and can they?
Well, they'll have to get innovative and look for ways to do things online and have look at that approach. We've got a digital Main Street program that we've put $57 million between the federal and the provincial government into a program to help companies, small companies and nonprofits be able to hire students to help them digitize their business and commercialize their business online. So they're going to look for great opportunities that way, as other communities have. In a theater, it was a limit of 50 people. That has changed now to 50 per different theater, the ones that are inside the theater. So I think in North Bay we have 7 theaters in the larger center. That'll go to 50 in each of them.
Well, from the WE scandal to election polling and to some help for COVID-19 sufferers, we speak to Nipissing-Temiskaming MP Anthony Rode on Friday. For starters, we talk about the WE scandal and could it possibly trigger a snap election, in Rhoda's opinion.
It's important that people look at what was said, what was asked, and what was answered, and make a decision on their own. When we look at the way the questions were answered, I thought they were pretty straightforward. And for our Prime Minister to put himself out there and answer the questions that were asked of him, I think that was a step in the right direction.
Could this lead, though, to an election call? It's a minority government, and yes, there is the pandemic, but could we be going to the polls in the next few months?
You know, it's a minority government. You never know what's going to topple a government. It could happen at any time.
So even in this scenario, it could happen?
Most definitely. Whenever you have a minority government, when the opposition parties get together and decide that they're going to topple the government, it can be done. Many say that it makes for a good government because everyone has to work together to keep things going. And as long as there's a will to keep things going, it works out for all Canadians' benefit.
I know poll results sometimes can be deceiving depending on who the pollster is, but the latest poll has the Liberals and the Conservatives neck and neck, and again, the Conservatives don't have a leader. How alarming is that for your party?
You know what? Polls come and go, and things change from week to week.
Meanwhile, on the COVID front, the federal government has approved treatment through a drug called remdesivir, which can help in the effects of COVID-19, at least the more serious cases.
With this new drug, remdesivir, what happens is it's being used on people who have a severe case of COVID-19, and hopefully that'll trickle down to those who are just not quite on a ventilator and quite as bad. So we're looking forward to it working, and it bodes well for maybe finding a cure or a vaccine for.
News. When we come back, a very, wait for it, creative segment right after this. Welcome back, everybody. Well, for more than 30 years, Des and Gail Anthony carved quite a niche in youth toys and youth educational toys, all blended into one. Creative learning was a staple on Main Street at two different locations, no less. The Anthonys have sold their iconic store, and this was their last week there.
Things I'd like to say is that I think this interview is very, very appropriate. You were my first interview when I started the store, and you obviously are going to be my last because we end tomorrow. So thank you for that.
Oh, all in a day's work, big guy. That interview more than 30 years ago in front of the original location of Creative Learning when Mr. Anthony wasn't getting snowplow work from the city when other merchants, tax-paying merchants, were. That problem was rectified quickly. And that's because of him, not me. Nevertheless, a few years later, he moved down Main Street and was wildly successful for a total of 31 years in all. And when you're a privately owned and operated business facing the big box stores, it's more or less the mouse slaying the elephant.
Well, we always did our research, and our mission in life was to bring to North Bay toys that they wouldn't find in the big box stores or the huge department stores. And that's been a worthwhile mission. We went to trade shows in Toronto, in New York over the years, seeking product. And I want to say a quick something about my wife. I get all the glory, if you want to call it that. I have never seen a person work as hard. She's very passionate about this business, and I am the only one that knows her commitment and what she's done for this business. And she cares about the city. We have given back over the years. We don't talk about it, but I just wanted to shout out to my best friend and wife and partner.
And don't think for a moment top city officials haven't recognized the efforts of the Anthonys.
Listen, I mean, I brought my kids back, when they were younger, when we first moved back to North Bay. And I mean, true entrepreneur, when it comes right down to it. They did their own thing. They've established a market. And I can tell you that our kids, when they come home to North Bay, creative learning is one of the places they go for, supplies, for arts, crafts, all of those things. So on their retirement, congratulations. I hope you enjoy your retirement. And to Sean Splint, the new owner, good luck. You've got a heck of a business that's been established for so many years, and certainly look forward to you continuing on in that tradition that the Anthonys established.
Originally wanted to rent some space from Creative Learning, and it just happened fortuitously that they were for sale. So I thought it was a great opportunity. Why not jump in with both feet and take the plunge?
Now, Des has run a very successful business for a very long time. There's an old saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. What are your thoughts about taking over and putting your stamp on it?
Yeah, it's a great business. It's been a pillar of the community for the past 30 years, and I definitely don't want to change a whole lot. Definitely, as you said, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater sort of thing. And but I definitely want to put on my own spin on it for sure. I'm going to make the store come online. So especially in these times, have availability to purchase from wherever you are in the town or in Ontario.
First of all, I want to thank Des for being Des. He remembered 14 years later what my son liked when we brought him there, and all our other kids too. He remembered all of that stuff. And the new store, well, the same store, new owner, will officially open on Saturday. When we come back, evidently get your popcorn. It's weather and much more after this.
Weather is brought to you by Canadore College. Great things happen here.
Well, the last Friday of July is a beauty. Welcome back to Cogeco News. I'm Clark Heipel here out front of the North Bay Tennis Club, which is nestled behind the North Bay Granite Club. I am here for your 5-day weather forecast brought to you by Canadore College. Also here to remind you to wear red on Friday, and you can show your support for the men and women of the Canadian Armed Forces who serve our country day in and day out. Now, I am strategically located here outside of North Bay Tennis just to deliver the weather forecast, and that is it. Stay tuned. Let's take a look at that 5-day forecast as it is the last Friday of July, and we are leading into the August long weekend, which is gonna be a beauty. Let's take a look. Heading overnight on this Friday night, a few clouds in the sky, a comfortable low of 15 degrees. The 1st of August, 27 sunny degrees, humidex 32, UV index 8. It's going to be high all around on Saturday. Overnight Saturday night, 17. That is the Saturday of this August long weekend. Sunday, the clouds move in, and so does a chance of showers. High 24, low 13, clouds, 60% chance of showers. Monday, cloudy still, 21 and 12 as we cool off a little bit. And Tuesday, back to work. High 21, low 13 with clouds. Turning the page back to the almanac, we can tell you that on Thursday, we had a high of 24 and a low of 12, no thunderstorm, and the normals for this time of July, 25 and 14 for the high and low. Now to the real reason why I'm outside the tennis club. Well, first and foremost, all sarcasm aside, Greg has been a good coworker over the past near decade. He has an expansive vocabulary, and I learn from him, and that's what senior employees are supposed to do, teach the younger employees. So Greg, before I tear you apart, thank you for that. Now, let's get to the tearing of the apart. Greg is a cunning conversationalist. His lexicon is laudable. Well, that being said, he had a fault with his choice of words. Let's go back to Thursday night to see what he said on air about what was going to happen here at the tennis club on court 4 Thursday evening.
Tennis demolition coming later tonight. We'll update on Friday. That's it for Cogeco News.
Well, yes, Greg, we will update in just a second, but first, a quick definition check. According to our friends at Webster's Dictionary since 1828, the definition that we're going to use in this sense is to tear down, to break to pieces, to do away with, a performance so awkward and apathetic it has instantly appeared to demolish any chance of restoring her declining career. Well, I don't think so, because let's take a look at the scores of the sets. The match was stopped due to time constraints. However, the first set won by yours truly, 7-5. And just a quick mention, Greg did have a 3-1 lead in the first set. And then things just did not work out Greg's way in the incomplete second set, dropping 3-0. Well, as they say, timing is everything. Look who I just ran into, Greg's better brother. This is Ron Estabrooks. Ron, you've been on the news a couple of times, so you are due for another appearance. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate Greg's tennis skill, please.
Boy, 1 to 10. Is there a number lower than that? I don't know. I think, he's trying his best, so I give it for him. Yeah, at a guy his age, he's still trying, though. He's always overconfident, but I don't get it. I watch you guys play, and you run everything down, and he just, there's some temper there. And, anger management classes might be in order, I think.
Ron, good luck at tennis this afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
All right, Greg, the other brother, will be back with your sportscast right after this.
Empty barrels make the most noise. Back with sports right after this. Welcome back, everybody. A new soccer organization finally getting a kick at the can, a chance to take to the fields after, well, a very long delay. The Nipissing District Soccer Club was using up several of Omichel's fields on Thursday night. It's just a practice for now, as games are still not allowed for the time being.
It's just great just to have the girls back returning safely to sport and having an opportunity just to get out and begin the season, as odd that it sounds, but have an opportunity to train with their friends and peers, which is great.
Mark, I see a lot of different age groups here too, so you're trying to get everybody up to speed at the same time. Is that a fair assessment?
The club has done a wonderful job of providing an opportunity to schedule blocks of time for the youth to engage in some of the limited fields that are open, and this field is in immaculate condition. So it's one of those things where we're just having a great opportunity to get back out together, and you have different age groups that are on.
What's the COVID protocols for the athletes and for the coaches for that?
It's certainly been a number of important steps we've taken in regards to how they check in with their masks on and sanitized, to logging in, to doing a COVID app, which is really important for them to declare that they are healthy and their parents are walking through that process. And then also the number of steps that we take to try to social distance. And through our drills, we're actually just now in phase 2 with Ontario Soccer, which is allowing them just to have this engagement and opportunities, as you see right behind us right now, which last week we weren't in that opportunity, where the drills were just really isolated.
So drills are great, but what about game situations? When would that take place?
Those are certainly things that the club will direct us on. We hope to have that opportunity, but right now I can honestly say that just even getting out here has been a big plus for us, and just allowing them just to get out and play.
And that's a wonderful thing. Players, of course, very rusty and trying to get back into game shape whenever there are games.
You know what, I'm going to say that there's a wide range in fitness in terms of what the kids were doing since they've been off. So certainly in the last 3 practices, we've certainly seen them all just coming back and just demonstrating lots of effort and energy and just having fun getting out.
We'll have more on that next week. Summer may look a little different, does it ever, this year? Your TV wants you to share your summer. Head over to Your TV North Bay on Facebook and comment with a picture of what you're doing this summer. You could win a weekly prize pack or even a grand prize of $500 to support a local business. And remember, of course, to tag Share Your Summer. Good luck to all. Have a great, wonderful long weekend. We're back on Tuesday for more Cogeco News.